Hello there, right here we have a brand new snapshot. This is 21W15A and you can see they have updated the menu screen. Now it shows the upcoming Caves and Cliffs update. We got the geode showing and we also got some sneak peeks at the deep slate and get the dripstone down here and the new ores. We also can see some of the mobs and other features of 1.17. But there is a good reason why we don't see any mountains in this whole picture right here. And that's because they're actually changing the way they're going to come out with this update. Caves and Cliffs update is actually going to be stretched over 2 parts. The first one will come out in the summer, as they stated during the Minecraft Live event. And the second one's going to come out during Christmas time. They also came out with a video kind of explaining why they are doing this and what changes are coming when. I'll summarize the video for you. So the first part will come out this summer, and that's going to be everything that's not technical about the Caves and Cliffs update. This is include stuff like majority of all the new blocks, as well as all the new mobs. You can get access to like drip leaf, pointed dripstone, glowberries, deep slate. For the mobs, you get axolotl, goats, glow squid, and also the new ores like copper ore and the geodes. And that's why we've seen recently they came out with alternative ways to get some of these items if you can't get them inside of the actual natural generation of the game. Like you can get them from wandering traders or get them from villagers. So it's going to be in part 2, the Christmas update, and that's going to be all the more technical stuff. So that's going to be the actual really super deep world heights of Minecraft. We won't be able to see the deep caves or the higher mountains until Christmas time. This also means the actual cave generation is not going to be in the newest update, as well as the new mountains and the biomes that come with the new mountains, as we've seen in the Bedrock edition. That's also going to be kind of pulled out of the snapshots and not reintroduced until later. And this all has to do with it being very difficult to get everything to work properly, and they want to make sure everything is working great, and they don't want to push out something that's not working the way they intended. So it does seem like we're going to get the majority of the features in the first update, which is this summer. And that's the easiest things for them to do. It's pretty easy for them to put out like new blocks, new mobs. We get to play with all of that right off the bat. It's just the more technical stuff, like dealing with how the world works when generation and the world is really deep or really high, making sure all that works with old worlds, as well as anything that people change about it. So a couple of questions to answer is yes, your worlds will be able to update to the part 1 update as well as part 2. Doesn't matter how old your world is, we'll be able to do that without a problem. Also, they're going to still be doing snapshots of both versions of it as they move forward. But one thing they did say that's not going to be in the Caves and Cliffs update is archaeology. They have postponed that to not even show up in the part 2 of the Caves and Cliffs update for 1.17. So that's something they want to go into way more in depth with and make it more Minecrafty. So they're going to push that off until some other update, probably the next one. Now you guys can understand what's going on with 1.17. There are some more technical things like what is not going to be showing up in the upcoming snapshots. They went ahead and switched the world height back to 1.16. They also removed the noise and aquifers. Caves and ravines are switched back to the old style. The cracks in the ground have been removed. The ways that ores were distributed is also back to 1.16, but you can still find the copper, which generates between the bottom of the world all the way up to 192, being most commonly found around Y level 96. They also added the tough block, which generates between Y level 0 and 16, and worlds that have been generated prior to snapshot 21W05B can once again be opened up, and any worlds beyond that snapshot up to last week can no longer be opened up in snapshots going forward. Now there's still ways around this which I use to update my worlds or move my farms and machines around. So I'll make sure to get all my farms into a world that is in a version that can be opened up by you guys. Now since I don't have this stuff in the actual snapshots, they do provide a data pack which the players can turn on to get the prototypes of the Caves and Cliffs. And they go on to explain how you can download the data pack and use it, and how it is considered experimental. And I'll link this in the description if you want it. So if we hop into a world, you can see it does look very much like 1.16, but we can find some geodes and copper ore. There's also deep slate at the bottom of the world with the new type of deep slate ores. So we should be able to get all the different blocks and mobs. Doesn't sound like the Warden will come with this update because it is mostly centered around the deep biome, and we're not getting that. So we're just going to have to wait to see how the Warden is introduced. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos where I cover cool things you can do with the newest changes. And in YouTube Studios, I'm able to see anybody who hasn't subscribed yet. So go ahead and click it now. Now the snapshot also contained some new features, like we're able to compact the raw resources that you mine up into blocks. Same goes for iron, also copper, and you notice that they changed actual raw image. So it's uniform among all three variations. You can see there's kind of like a square block kind of the back with a little piece in front. This is the same for each of them. That way they don't get confused with like other things like the nuggets. And these blocks look really amazing. I mean, that is just awesome. I love the gold one. It kind of reminds me of the glowstone. A lot more vibrant. Definitely could see people using these as kind of a walkway, especially if you're like really rich. You can have like this gold cobble walkway, maybe like dragon scales. Very, very cool. You can also break down the raw blocks into the items. They also rearranged the whole area where the ores are, so you can see all the different type of ores and stuff you can make out of them. All are kind of in the same area, for the blocks at least. Makes it a lot easier to find them all. They also updated goats, so now they will hit things that move. Let's give this a try. Got a bunch of goats and get some cows in there, see if they hit them. That chicken got hit. Yeah, they're hitting, like that cow got hit there. Now they have the ability to knock mobs backwards and also do some damage and potentially push them off the cliffs, which would kill them. They also said that creepers won't mess with goats, so that's a good thing to know. Goats won't hit the creepers and then cause them to blow up. They also like to hit armor stands. See, that one just got pushed way over there by a goat. Oh, one just hit a creeper. You can hear it sizzled, but didn't actually blow up, which is good. They also gave a unique sound to bone meal and the crunchy sound. They also added a new entity in the game called a marker for creative use. And you can't see this marker because it doesn't show up on client side, it's only on server side. This is made for custom things like map making or data packs. And on its own, it doesn't do any updates, so you don't have to worry about it compared to like armor stands in the past where you can make those kind of markers and use them to do different things. But with the actual specific marker block, they can make sure that it doesn't cause any other updates. It also has a data field which can contain extra stuff. Now the debug command also has a subcommand, which is the function. This will allow you to debug any functions that you have. It will show every executed command, message, even ones that are invisible or hidden, and all the results and errors are stored to the file. Also, it cannot be run from within inside of functions. That cow in the background just died. They also added a chat component separators. These will kind of separate different things that come up in the chat. So you can see, here's an example they gave. NBT, there's also custom name. These are all separated out. They also added in custom server resource packs. So when the required resource pack is used, the server properties now have the ability to put in a custom message with it. Now besides these new features, they also fixed some known issues in the game. There was a crash occurring when customizing geode placement into the world, which they have fixed. When set blocking lichen, it would produce a lichen block that didn't render any sides, so it would just produce this light, which would be updated once you would place a block in there. Now that we actually have a light source block for Java, it fixed this bug to do with the lichen. Enderman holding lichen wouldn't render properly. When looking on maps, the stone and the deep slate were producing the same color, which now is different. Also repositioned the cracked and bricks deep slate within the creative menu. The vested deep slate was making the old stone sound instead of making the new one. They fixed a problem to do with feature placement when designing a custom world. They also repositioned the Deep Slate Emerald ore to be with the rest. The Deep Slate coal variation wasn't producing any XP when mined up. The two variations of copper were a bit inconsistent. You see that pixel there is different than this here. That's been updated. And same thing has been done to the gold ore variants. When axolotls are out of water, their air tag here goes down. So it'll slowly go down to 0, and when it does, they'll start taking damage because they've been out of water too long. Now they added it so that by splashing them with a water splash potion, it will increase their time so that they won't die as fast. Now there's still some bugs to do with a splash water potion, like it's supposed to be able to damage Endermen like it does Blaze, but if I throw one of these, you can see it doesn't hurt these guys whatsoever. So I really wish they'd fix that bug as well. They also tweaked the lava fog rendering, as well as the beacon beam fog, and the blindness effect rendering. Also in the last snapshot, goats weren't attacking anything, but now they will. They also fixed the problem that netherite ore wasn't being able to smelt since the last snapshot. The problem with lava pools that generate down here, still having stone around them, is fixed now because they're supposed to have deep slate. Remember to leave a like as well as share this video with others. And now that you finished the video, hop on over to my Twitch stream, link down below, where we will be coming up with crazy contraptions using the latest changes. And drop a follow while you're over there. I would like to thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.